Let me show you how I made this in Camtasia.
On average, it can take anywhere from 90 days through to 9 months to create your certification, to have it ready to be out in the world. Now,
Hey everyone, it's Jewel Tolentino here from Essetino Media, and on this channel we show you how to create profitable content. So you saw that little animated timeline thing going on there? That's what I'm going to show you how to do. Alright, so I'm here in Camtasia right now, and I've got a video that I did for one of my clients, Tina, and she is one of our YouTube channel management clients. And I was just going through and editing one of her videos, and I made this little thing here because she's talking about how long does it take to create certification, right? And so I wanted to visually illustrate that in a fun way. Yeah, like I could write it on the screen and stuff like that, but I just got inspired and I was like, "Oh, that'd be fun to create this like thing that pops up on the screen." So let's break it down. All right, first thing is I already have the background here. I already have the video here, and that's kind of the two base layers. And then I have the line here, the straight line. If you don't know, you can actually get these animated kind of like features. If you head over to animations and then you go to the squiggly line, you actually have these like animated circle, animated square, arrow, check mark, line. And then you have like cleaner versions of them. This is like as if someone were to draw it, right? Sketch motion. And then here's like a more cleaner circle, a clean square, a clean X, star, and an arrow. So what I did was I took this one right here, dragged it down onto the timeline, and it usually comes in the standard red, and it comes very thin. So first thing I did was I went max thickness here, and then I wanted it to stand out. Originally, I was like, oh, let me play around with this, and I was trying to do like the green and such, but it just kind of was getting lost in the video. What I ended up doing was I just went to all the way over here to the left, which is the white color. Now you'll notice it's at an angle here, right? So I want this to be a straight line. So what I had to do was I had to go over here, and you have to hover over until it turns green. Don't go over to any of these stuff because this will do the length, and we'll change the length in here in a second. But this changes the rotation of the line. So if I click down and I turn it, you can change it to now a straight line. Now I did have to eyeball this, and then you grab this right here, and I'm stretching it out, and then this will actually take it to the straight line. And then you just want to stretch it out to the desired length. And then next I wanted just like a label, right? So this I just went to annotations, and then if you head over here, you can see the text written out on a block. So this is actually located in my favorites. You can see with the star there. And then all I did was drag this down, and you can see it's kind of looking like that. Now I wanted to change the color, so I head over here, click the dropper, and I wanted to sample the background color here. And then the outline too. People always forget about the outline color. So I'm going to sample the same thing. I want the text to be white because I want it to stand out. I feel like this, it's like a dark gray thing going on here. And if you head over up here, you can see it's like a dark gray. So I want to change that to white. And let's see here, change this to more of a bold font to make it stand out more. And then I'm going to stretch it out, and then I'm going to call it certification process. I think that's what I wrote. Let's see here. Yeah, certification process. And then we're going to, I actually want to make this smaller because I think it's too big, so I'm going to change the font size. And this is what I did, right? This is totally customized to you. You can change this however you'd like it to look, sizes, colors, all that kind of stuff. And then we're just ballparking it here. And then I placed it on top here. and in the center. Then I had this this like ellipse type thing here. What I actually did for this was, again, I grabbed this shape here. From here, you could actually go to this annotations part here and head down to shape, and you can actually change the shape of this. So you can see here, speech bubble 1 looks like this. And so all I did was change this to 90 days and then made it bold. So I'm just going to highlight this, make it bold, and then I made it smaller. So I also want to change the font to black, and then I made it smaller like that, and then squished this down a little bit like that, and then just making sure the colors, again, people always forget about the border here, the outline. Make sure that that is the white color, and then I place that over here. I'll duplicate that and then do it for the other side. So I'm duplicating it. Anywhere where you can save time, definitely do that. You know, I know that I need another one of these, so I'm not going to go and create it again from scratch. I can literally just copy and paste, and I'm just going to drag it straight across, and then I'll just move it a bit there, and then I'm going to change it to 9 months, because it's a timeline of talking about 90 days to 9 months. And then I think I made this one a little bit bigger because the 9 months wasn't fitting properly. So I think I had to like do something like that. You know, you could look at this and be like, oh yeah, created it, it's duplicated. But here's the thing. There are the details. You can see there's a difference between this and this, even though essentially it is technically quote unquote the same, but it's all in the details. Always all in the details. So get this here. I added a drop shadow on everything. So I'm going to highlight this whole thing, and then I'm going to head over to my favorites, scroll down here, and then I have here my favorite for details is the drop shadow. So I'm going to now add that on, because the drop shadow, it gives it depth, because right now it's looking very flat, right? It's like just you've placed these shapes and it's just like flat on there. We want to show some depth. So I'm going to just grab this and add it to everything. And you can see right there, it's made a huge difference. It's very subtle, but it's just all these little details, right? And then next, to, you know, kind of finish this up, this has an animation going on, right? I could just have this pop up just like this, but only the sketch would have animation. So I want this 90 days and the 9 months and the certification process to all have some sort of animation. And the animations that I like to use are under behaviors. Behaviors they're just basically like preset animations that you can add to stuff. So I like to choose the really clean animations and not the ones that are cheesy or anything. So I use a lot of like sliding. So this one right down here. So I added this to the certification thing. Add that on. A lot of people just add it and then that's it. You actually need to customize it. So I don't want the direction to come from the left, because then look what's happening. If it comes from the left, then it's like overlapping the other thing. I want it to come from the bottom so that it's doing its own thing there. You see that? Much cleaner. Now, a lot of people forget to turn off the during, because there's stuff usually happening with these behaviors, and I don't usually like what's happening in the during, so I want to turn it off because it has this weird fading thing, and I don't want the fading thing. Now, for the out, which is when the annotation leaves, I want it to leave from the bottom. I don't want it to leave from the right, because again, it's going to clash with the 9 months here. So when it slides, it's going to slide out from the bottom. There, we're done with that. Next is the 90 days. So I want this to come from the left. So I'm going to take sliding, add it onto the 90 days, and then we're going to slide from the left, go to during, turn this off because that I find distracting. Okay, so it came in from the right, so now we want it to leave the left. So it comes in like that, comes in from the right, and then it's leaving the opposite direction, but going back to where it came from. And the same thing with the 90 days. We want it to come in, so we're going to grab the sliding, attach it on here, sliding in from the right, and then leaving from the left. So turn the during off, and then it leaves. There. Okay, so everybody's going in their own direction, right? Now the last bit here is the audio effects, sound effects. So I have this bubble popping here. You can hear I have 2 bubble pops. So I'll just play it again.
It can take anywhere from 90 days through to 9 months to create your certification, to have it ready to be out in the world. Now,
and then I had like a fast like swish thing. So this you can grab from copy free write sites. The one that I use is artlist.io, and I downloaded these and I preload them up into my library, and I have all these audio files that I've saved, and these are ones that I use over and over again. So I just added like a bubble popping for each time the 90 days and the 9 months came in, and then a fast swoosh thing for at the end to wrap it up. And you can see that I have everything timed accordingly from when Tina says, it can take anywhere from 90 days to 9 months. This is matched exactly to when she's speaking. And then when she's said a little bit about it, then it all goes away. So this whole thing probably took me about half an hour to test out and try out. Sometimes, these animations can take a while, but the end result can be really cool and it can really add to the visual aspect of your video. And in this case, this was important to outline in Tina's video because she's talking about, the video is titled, How Long Does It Take to Create a Certification? So I wanted to create one of these in the video to really outline and show people the visualness of it. So that's why I took a little extra to spend time in creating this for her. So that is it. That is the breakdown of how I made this animated timeline. Hit the thumbs up button if you thought this video was cool. And if you want to fast track your Camtasia learning, I've got a Camtasia course that you can take. It's got 10 plus hours of content. It's basically all my knowledge just like this. All these tutorials that I've created literally from trial and error. It's all in the course. It's been recently updated, and if you're serious about learning Camtasia, I highly recommend taking this course. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.